Every morning life gives you a silent invitation. Not to rush, not to stress, not to run blindly behind the word, but to build your mind before the world begins to shape it for you. Because if you don't train your mind in the morning, your mind will train you throughout the day. The first few minutes of your morning are not just minutes, they are the architecture of your entire day. When you wake up, your mind is like soft clay, open, impressionable, ready to be shaped. And whatever touches it first begins to sculpt your thoughts, your emotions, your attitude, and eventually your actions. This is why winning the first 10 minutes of your day is not a ritual. It is a responsibility. Most people open their eyes and immediately pick up the phone. They see a message that upsets them, a notification that stresses them, or a headline that scares them. Without realizing it, they hand over the steering wheel of their inner world to the outside world. Their mind becomes reactive instead of responsive, anxious instead of aware, scattered instead of centered. But when you choose to win the first 10 minutes, everything changes. Imagine waking up and giving yourself a moment before giving yourself to the world. Imagine telling your mind, "Wait, let me decide how I start my day." Those first breaths you take, those first thoughts you allow, those first emotions you entertain, they begin to define the tone of the next 16 hours. If the beginning is chaotic, the day will follow in chaos. But if the beginning is conscious, the day follows with clarity. Winning the first 10 minutes means giving your mind the gift of silence before you give it sound, the gift of stillness before you give it stress, the gift of direction before you give it decisions. Sit on your bed with your eyes closed, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to arrive in the new day. Whisper something positive. Smile softly even if you don't feel like it. Your brain will respond. Feel grateful for waking up, for being alive, for having one more chance to get it right. These tiny moments create a powerful internal shift. This is the time when you tell your mind, "You work for me, I don't work for you." This is the time when you set your emotional temperature for the day. If you set it high, with gratitude, hope, calmness, and clarity, life's problems will feel lighter. But if you start low, with stress, negativity, confusion, even simple things will feel heavy. You are the designer of your mental morning. So take those first 10 minutes and make them sacred. Treat them as if they decide the rest of your day, because in reality, they do. The world will try to rush you, distract you, drain you, but if the first 10 minutes belong to you, the rest of the day will obey you. When you open your eyes in the morning, your mind is like an empty room waiting to be furnished. And before anything else enters that room, before responsibilities, before tasks, before expectations, before the noise of the world, gratitude is the one thing that transforms that empty space into a peaceful sanctuary. When you start your day with gratitude, you are not just saying, "Thank you." You are choosing the emotional lens through which you will view everything that happens next. Gratitude is powerful because it shifts your focus instantly. Instead of beginning the day by noticing what's missing, you begin by noticing what's already present. Instead of waking up thinking about problems, you wake up acknowledging blessings. That shift may seem small, but emotionally it is enormous. It turns a worried mind into a grounded mind, a restless heart into a calm one. Think about it, many people wake up and immediately think, "I have so much to do, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm already behind." And the day has barely begun, yet the mind is already carrying weight. But the moment you say, "Thank you," you lighten that burden. You remind yourself that despite your challenges, there is still something good, something meaningful, something worth appreciating. Gratitude doesn't mean your life is perfect. It means you're choosing to notice what is still beautiful. It means recognizing the gift of another morning, another chance, another opportunity to grow. It means appreciating the bed you slept in, the roof over your head, the strength in your body, the breath in your lungs. You realize that these things, which you often overlook, are luxuries for millions of people. And when you start noticing small blessings, your mind naturally becomes more resilient. Problems feel less overwhelming because you've already anchored yourself in thankfulness. Challenges feel less threatening because gratitude reminds you of everything you already have. A grateful mind is not easily shaken. It stays rooted even when the world tries to disturb it. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a discipline. Some mornings you won't feel grateful. Some mornings you might wake up disappointed, anxious, or stressed. But that is exactly when gratitude becomes medicine. When you whisper, "Thank you," even when you don't feel it, you guide your mind away from negativity and toward balance. You take control instead of letting your emotions take control of you. Just spend the first few minutes appreciating something, anything. The warmth of sunlight on your face, the quietness of the morning, the ability to start again. When you allow gratitude to enter before anything else, your entire day becomes lighter. Your interactions become kinder. Your stress becomes manageable. Your patience becomes stronger. When you start the morning with gratitude, you're not just thanking life. You're inviting more good into it. You are training your mind to see abundance instead of lack, progress instead of pressure, blessings instead of burdens. That simple act of acknowledging what's good in your life can create an emotional shift that lasts for hours. And slowly, without you realizing it, gratitude becomes your emotional armor, protecting you from negativity, grounding you in the present, and reminding you that no matter what challenges come, you still have more things working for you than against you. The moment you wake up, your mind is in its softest, most absorbent state. It's like a sponge that will soak up whatever it touches first. And this is where most people unknowingly damage their own peace. The very first thing they touch is their phone. Before they've taken a breath, before they've grounded themselves, before they've connected with their own mind, they connect with the world, and the world begins shaping their emotions. A single notification can trigger stress before you've even sat up. A message can pull you into drama that isn't yours. A headline can make you anxious about things far beyond your control. And without realizing it, your day starts with stimulation instead of serenity. You become reactive before you've had the chance to be reflective. You start running before you've even learned where you're going. This is why feeding your mind before your phone is not just advice, it is protection. It creates a sacred boundary between you and the world. It reminds you that your mind is your home, not a public hallway where anyone can walk in whenever they want. The first few moments of your morning must belong to you, not to the internet, not to social media, not to other people's thoughts or expectations. When you choose to feed your mind first, you send a powerful message to yourself. I am the one who decides how my day begins, not the world. Instead of scrolling through chaos, you start with clarity. Instead of consuming randomness, you consume something that strengthens your inner foundation, something uplifting, something inspiring, something meaningful. You can read a page from a spiritual book, a line of wisdom, a quote that sparks thought, or a paragraph that reminds you of your purpose. You can listen to something soothing, something motivating, something that makes your mind expand rather than shrink. You can simply sit with your thoughts and ask yourself, what do I need today? What do I want today? What kind of person do I choose to be today? Because the truth is, your mind needs nutrition just as much as your body does. If you begin your day by feeding it anxiety, comparison, distraction, and noise, it will give you anxiety, comparison, distraction, and noise in return. But if you feed it peace, wisdom, and clarity, it will reflect those qualities back to you. Imagine waking up and taking a moment to breathe deeply. Imagine reading a short passage that reminds you to be patient, kind, grounded, or strong. Imagine listening to a voice that encourages you rather than drains you. These small choices create a large emotional shift. They form the mental tone of your entire day. When your mind receives the right nourishment first, it becomes more stable. You don't get irritated as easily because you're coming from a place of calm. You don't get overwhelmed as quickly because you've already centered yourself. You don't get lost in distraction because you've already set your direction. The phone can wait. The world can wait. Messages can wait. But your mind shouldn't have to. The moment you wake up, choose to give it something meaningful. Something that builds you, not breaks you. Something that strengthens you, not shakes you. Because when your mind is fed well early in the morning, the rest of your day follows with grace, clarity, and emotional strength. Stillness is one of the most powerful gifts you can give yourself in the morning, yet it's the one thing people avoid the most. The moment the alarm rings, most people jump into action, rushing, checking, planning, worrying. Their feet move before their mind settles. Their thoughts start racing before their breath even stabilizes. And without even realizing it, they begin their day from a place of internal noise. But the truth is, the mind is not designed to jump from sleep into chaos. It needs a gentle transition. It needs a moment of silence before stimulation, a moment of grounding before movement, a moment of stillness before responsibility. Practicing stillness in the morning is not about doing nothing. It's about creating the space where your scattered thoughts come home, where your energy gathers, where your emotions settle, and where your inner world becomes calm enough to carry you peacefully through the next several hours. When you wake up, your thoughts are fragile. Your emotions are still forming. Your internal system is rebooting. If you immediately expose your mind to noise, you overload it. But if you sit quietly, even for 2 minutes, something magical happens. Your entire emotional system resets. Your breathing deepens. Your heartbeat steadies. Your mind stops running ahead of you. You return to yourself. Stillness is like pressing a mental refresh button. It clears the fog of sleep and creates a sense of presence. It's like telling the mind, before the world asks anything from me, let me just be with myself for a moment. Whether you meditate, breathe slowly, sit in silence, or simply close your eyes and observe your thoughts, the essence is the same. You are giving yourself room to arrive into the new day consciously. Many people say, I don't have time. But stillness isn't about time, it's about intention. Even 20 deep breaths can shift your state. Even sitting quietly for 60 seconds can change how you feel. What matters is not how long you sit, but how deeply you connect with your inner space. In stillness, you begin to notice sensations you ignored during the rush. You feel the inhale filling your lungs, the exhale releasing tension, the calmness spreading through your body. You notice the silence around you and the silence inside you. And in that silence, answers come, clarity comes, strength comes. You realize that problems aren't as big as they felt last night, and worries aren't as heavy as they seemed. Stillness builds emotional resilience. When your mind is calm in the morning, it doesn't react as violently to stress later in the day. Situations that would normally anger, you don't get the same reaction. Challenges that would normally overwhelm, you feel easier to handle. Instead of jumping into the world with scattered energy, you step into the world with grounded presence. The most powerful people don't start their morning by reacting to life. They start by aligning with life. They don't rush into the day. They enter it with awareness. They don't wake up and drown in noise. They anchor themselves in silence first, because they know that a calm mind creates a calm day. Stillness is not luxury. It is necessity. It is the moment where you meet yourself before you meet the world. And when you give your mind even a few minutes of peaceful stillness, the rest of your day becomes softer, clearer, and far more manageable. Stillness in the morning is like giving your soul a deep breath, the kind that carries you through everything that follows. Setting a daily intention is like giving your mind a map before you send it into the world. Most people wake up and walk into their day without any direction, hoping everything will somehow fall into place. But a day without intention is like a ship without a compass. It moves, but it doesn't know where it's going. The winds of emotions push it here and there. The storms of stress shake it. Other people's expectations steer it off course. And by the end of the day, you wonder why you feel drained, unfocused, or unfulfilled. Your mind needs instruction. It needs leadership. It needs you to tell it what kind of day you want it to create. When you set an intention, you're not predicting the day. You are shaping it. You're giving your mind a direction to walk toward. So even when challenges come, you don't get lost. An intention is not a long list of goals. It's a single, powerful decision about the quality you choose to embody today. It can be something as simple as, today I choose patience. Today I choose focus. Today I choose peace. Today I choose kindness. Today I choose discipline. These are not just words, they are emotional instructions. When you say them with awareness, they begin to guide your thoughts, behaviors, and reactions throughout the day. It's like whispering a command to your subconscious mind, which then quietly works behind the scenes to align your actions with that intention. Imagine choosing patience in the morning. Later, when someone irritates you, the intention acts as a gentle reminder. You chose patience today. Respond from that place. Imagine choosing peace. When stress tries to enter, something inside you says, remain steady. You decided this morning who you would be. Imagine choosing focus. When distractions pull you in different directions, the intention brings you back to your center. This is the power of consciously deciding your emotional attitude before the world decides it for you. Setting an intention also protects you from being hijacked by negativity. If you don't choose your emotional state, someone else will choose it for you. The angry driver, the stressful email, the overwhelming workload, the rude comment, the unexpected problem. But when you have clarity, these things lose their power to control your mind. They may shake you, but they won't break your direction. Your intention becomes your internal anchor, the thing you return to again and again throughout the day. It is your reminder that despite what happens outside, you still have control inside. You still get to choose who you are, how you show up, and how you respond. Some people write their intention on paper. Some repeat it in their mind. Some speak it softly out loud. The method doesn't matter. The consciousness does. What matters is that you pause in the morning and give your mind a clear message. You create a link between your awareness and your actions. And the more consistently you set intentions, the more powerful they become. Over time, your mind becomes trained to follow your direction. Your habits become aligned. Your emotions become balanced. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop drifting through the day and start directing it. Intentions turn mornings into moments of empowerment instead of autopilot. They remind you that every day is a fresh chance, a new canvas you can paint with purpose instead of randomness. When you wake up and decide who you will be today, the world can no longer control your identity or your peace, because intention is not just a morning ritual. It is a declaration. I am in charge of my mind. I choose how I live today. Visualizing your best self each morning is like rehearsing your life before you live it. It is not imagination in the childish sense. It is imagination in the creative, powerful, transformative sense. Your mind doesn't simply observe reality, it shapes it. And the pictures you paint in your mind first thing in the morning become the blueprints of your behavior for the rest of the day. Most people wake up and immediately allow their mind to wander into worry. What if things go wrong? What if I fail today? What if something bad happens? These thoughts don't come from truth. They come from habit. The mind repeats the same fearful stories because it has nothing better to follow. But when you choose to visualize your best self, you give the mind a new script, a new direction, a new emotional blueprint. You tell it, this is who I am becoming. This is how I will show up today. Visualization is powerful because the brain cannot fully distinguish between a deeply imagined scenario and a real one. When you visualize success, calmness, confidence, or strength, your brain begins to activate the same neural pathways that you would use if you were actually living those qualities. You are training yourself internally long before you act externally. Imagine sitting silently in the morning and seeing yourself moving through the day with clarity, making strong decisions, handling stress with grace, speaking with confidence, showing kindness, staying patient, staying focused. Imagine watching a version of yourself who isn't rushed, who isn't reactive, who isn't shaken by small problems. Imagine seeing yourself accomplishing the things that matter to you. The moment you visualize it, something remarkable begins to happen. Your body relaxes. Your anxiety reduces. Your beliefs shift. Your behavior aligns with the image you created. This is why athletes visualize before competing. Speakers visualize before speaking. Leaders visualize before leading. They understand that the mind performs best when it has already experienced success internally. You can visualize anything: handling a tough conversation calmly, staying disciplined during a busy day, focusing deeply on your work, treating people with kindness, or simply being the best version of yourself in every situation. The point is not perfection. The point is alignment. Alignment between who you want to be and how you prepare your mind to become that person. When you visualize your best self, you give your mind a model to follow. Without that model, you operate from old habits, habits of worry, habits of rushing, habits of insecurity, habits of irritation. But with visualization, you activate new emotional patterns, new expectations, new levels of awareness. And here is the most beautiful part. Visualization is not about escaping reality. It is about shaping reality. It's not about daydreaming. It's about training. It's not about wishing, it's about becoming. As you practice this consistently, you start to notice subtle changes. You respond differently, you carry yourself with more grace, you hesitate less, you trust yourself more, you stop doubting every step. Because in your mind, you've already lived the day successfully. So now, your actions simply follow the path you created. Even 2 minutes of visualization in the morning can shift your emotional state. It can take you from fear to confidence, from confusion to clarity, from exhaustion to purpose. When you start your day by seeing the best version of yourself, it becomes harder for the world to pull you into the worst version of yourself. Visualization makes your mind believe in what you are capable of. And when your mind believes, your actions follow, and your life begins to transform. You become the person you mentally trained yourself to be every single morning. Negative thoughts in the morning are like cracks in the foundation of your day. If you don't repair them the moment they appear, they begin to spread, shaping your emotions, your behavior, and everything that follows. Most people don't even realize how quickly the first negative thought of the day can take over. One small worry becomes a chain of anxious ideas. One small irritation becomes a bad mood. One small memory becomes emotional heaviness. And suddenly, before you even brush your teeth, your mind has already lost its balance. This is why rejecting negativity early isn't just a habit. It's a form of self-defense. Your morning mind is sensitive, open, and suggestible. It listens to whatever you tell it. If the first thing it hears is fear, it prepares you for fear. If the first thing it hears is doubt, it prepares you for failure. If the first thing it hears is stress, it prepares you for burden. But if the first thing it hears is strength, calmness, clarity, or hope, it builds your mental environment around those qualities. When you wake up, and the first thought tries to drag you into negativity, you must catch it immediately. Don't let it grow roots. Don't let it multiply. Don't let it become the story of your day. Because the mind has a tendency to follow whatever path you place it on. If you start with negativity, your mind will look for more negativity. But if you consciously shift your focus, even slightly, you redirect the entire emotional trajectory of the day. Rejecting negativity doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means refusing to give power to thoughts that weaken you. It is about recognizing, yes, this thought appeared, but I don't have to follow it. When a negative idea arises about work, money, relationships, health, your future, take a pause, take a deep breath, and gently tell yourself, not now. I choose not to go in that direction. You might not be able to control which thoughts show up, but you can control which thoughts you entertain. The morning is the most important moment to practice this because early thoughts set the tone for later ones. If you let negativity enter at the beginning, your mind assumes that negativity is the theme of the day. You'll be more irritable, more reactive, more sensitive to small problems. But if you correct the first negative thought immediately, your mind learns that you are in charge, not the thought. Imagine waking up and a worry comes in. Instead of allowing it to spread, you replace it with something constructive. I'll handle it when the time comes. I've dealt with difficult things before. I am stronger than this thought suggests. This is not the moment for fear. My peace is more important. The small shifts create big emotional differences. When you reject negativity early, you protect your internal state before anything can disturb it. Think of it like closing a door to keep the cold wind out. Once the door is shut, the inside stays warm. Your mind is the same. Once you shut out the first wave of negativity, the rest of the day becomes easier to navigate. Negative thoughts will always try to enter. That is part of being human. But you are not obligated to welcome them. You can observe them without accepting them. You can acknowledge them without believing them. You can hear them without obeying them. And in doing so, you build the muscle of emotional control. When you practice rejecting negativity each morning, your inner strength grows. Over time, you become someone who doesn't break easily, someone who doesn't get pulled down by every small worry, someone who remains centered even when life becomes unpredictable. Because the moment you stop letting negativity lead, your mind begins to follow a much more peaceful, powerful direction. Discipline in the morning is not about doing grand or complicated things. It's about mastering the small, often overlooked actions that quietly shape your entire day. Most people underestimate the power of simple routines, making your bed, drinking water, stretching, or even washing your face with intention. These are not just chores. They are the building blocks of mental strength. Every small act of discipline in the morning sends a signal to your mind: I am in charge of my life. I decide how my day begins. When you start your day by doing something intentionally, no matter how small, you create momentum. Momentum is a subtle but profound force. Making your bed, for example, may seem insignificant, but it's a victory. A tiny accomplishment before the day has even started. That small win reminds your mind that success is possible, that control is possible, and that order is achievable. And with that first victory, the brain becomes more likely to continue choosing disciplined actions throughout the day. Discipline is also about consistency. If you drink a glass of water every morning, if you stretch for 5 minutes, if you take a quiet moment to breathe, you are creating a pattern. Patterns are powerful because they shape habits. Habits shape behavior, and behavior over time shapes destiny. When the morning is filled with small, disciplined choices, your mind learns a crucial truth: I don't need external motivation to act. I can guide myself. Discipline strengthens the mind because it creates structure. When your life has structure, you don't feel lost in chaos. You don't start the day reacting to whatever comes your way. Instead, you begin from a place of intentionality. You've already achieved something meaningful before the world has even demanded your attention. That internal order gives your mind clarity, focus, and resilience. Discipline in the morning also teaches patience and self-control. You learn to follow through on promises to yourself. When you stretch even when you feel lazy, when you drink water even when you feel sleepy, when you make your bed even when you want to leave it messy, you are training your brain to honor your own commitments. That ability to honor yourself carries over into larger challenges during the day. You begin to notice that resisting small temptations in the morning makes you stronger in handling bigger challenges later. Small, disciplined morning habits also affect your energy. Drinking water rehydrates and awakens your body. Stretching loosens muscles and increases blood flow. Making your bed creates a sense of order and accomplishment. Even these small acts improve your mood, increase your alertness, and create a sense of control. A mind that starts from a place of discipline is less prone to stress, less likely to feel scattered, and more capable of handling unexpected situations with calm. Over time, these tiny habits compound. One disciplined morning leads to another. One small victory creates the confidence to win the next. Eventually, discipline becomes automatic. It no longer feels like effort, but a natural part of your day. And once the morning is under your control, the rest of the day follows. Your focus, productivity, and emotional resilience all increase. The essence of morning discipline is choice. Every action you take is a conscious decision that says, I will not let life or laziness decide my direction. I will start strong, and the day will follow my lead. By consistently practicing discipline in the morning, you are not just creating a routine, you are building a mind that is capable, steady, and unshakable. In truth, the strength you cultivate in the morning becomes armor for the entire day. Small acts, repeated consistently, give your mind confidence, clarity, and control. You begin to realize that the day doesn't have to dictate your state. You dictate the day. Discipline becomes the invisible force that carries you gracefully through life, one conscious choice at a time.